Government is determined to fight corruption wherever it manifests itself in our society. Corruption hurts the poor as it impacts on services and delivery. It undermines democracy and the rule of law, leads to human rights violations, distorts market, erodes quality of life, and allows organized crime, terrorism, and other threats of human security to flourish. It was against this background that the GCIS launched an anti-corruption campaign where government communicators from all national departments gathered to talk about how they will drive communication to educate South Africans on what corruption is and encourage them to play their part in preventing and countering corruption.
There are different interpretations of what corruption is. People will have a municipality that is not collecting refuse removals and they will say it's corruption. People will have corrupt processes of recruiting, they will say it's corruption. People will have Eskom's load shedding for reasons unknown to us, they will then say it's corruption. So that's one of the things that really came out strongly, that we have that deficit, that people are not able to really understand what corruption is all about. It's not correct to say that we are so immune to corruption, we are not doing anything. There are so many things that government is doing, and there are so many arrests. I think some of you can say even more than I know of what is it that is happening in departments, the arrests that have been happening in Home Affairs, Social Development. There are quite a lot of arrests that have been made, but because that information gets cluttered and kept to ourselves, people tend to think that government corruption is actually not being done.
The launch served as a foundation to present internal communicators with ways of how they can mobilize public servants so that they can lead the way in fighting corruption.
So it is quite important that we maintain and promote integrity so that there is public confidence, there is public trust in what we do as government. And since 1997, in the context of a democratic dispensation since 1997, there has been quite a number of measures, and one of those is the Public Service Code of Conduct that you are quite familiar with.
The campaign is launched on the premise that although corruption is a two-way street, public officials must be resolute in stamping it out to create a transparent and responsive public service. We spoke to some of the colleagues who were in attendance to hear their views on what they understand about corruption.
Well, corruption for me, it means that where you are deliberately setting aside your integrity and your value to enrich yourself by a benefit or receiving something that is illegally or in the intent that you moved aside to get that benefit.
I think everybody in government knows someone who is corrupt, and also in private sector, also in municipalities and everywhere, someone knows someone who is corrupt.
When I fail my people because I'm looking after my personal interests, when I fail the broader South African community because I'm only interested in serving a few or some sectors of society, that really lays foundation for possible corruption.
And if we can run this anti-corruption campaign in a way that whistleblowers will feel protected by government, will feel secured if they come up and they blow the whistle.
Corruption cannot flourish if we all take a personal responsibility for stopping it. Report corruption by calling the call center number 0800 701 701. Working together, we can do more to defeat corruption.